Hello, hello, hello. What ho? Welcome back to another exciting adventure of Radio Free Anarchy. I'm your host, Travel Mateus. I am not reading from a script right now. I'm just looking straight into the camera and just riffing. However, I will be reading from a script for the majority of this episode because someone who watched an episode gave me some advice that my content is a bit scattered and maybe hard to follow for certain people because I don't have a script and I just talk about whatever comes to my mind, and I'm attention diversified, which is highly developed. I have ADHD, but it's a diversified, highly developed attention. Okay, you get the difference? It's not a disorder. It's something that I have to control because I am so intelligent that I can think about so many things but never accomplish anything, right? So it's a burden as well as a boon. It's a bane. It's bane as well as a boon. So, a needle pulling thread. This person said, why don't you prepare a script and just stick to the script? That's what this episode is going to be, and here we go. As a preface, in this section that I'm going to read, there is a term that I am now going to read a conceptual idea from where I am at this present moment. The powers that be is a term often used to refer to individuals or groups who hold significant influence or control within a particular organization, institution, society, or culture. These powers can take many forms, from political leaders to corporate executives to influential social figures, athletes, and movie stars, and even the ominous deep state, the shadow alphabety soupy agency kind of existence, shadow. Fuck. See? These powers can take many forms, from political leaders, corporate executives, influential social figures, athletes, movie stars, and even the ominous deep state shadow alphabety agencies lurking in the background. In essence, the powers that be are the creators and the executioners, or the applicationers. They apply the plan. They execute what the creators created for them to do. The puppet masters pulling the strings behind the scenes are the powers that be. They are the ones with the ability to shape and steer the direction of history, past, present, and future. Nothing is predictive. Everything is programmed. They are the ones who hold the keys to the kingdom, so to speak, and their decisions and actions can have far-reaching consequences for those under their sway. But who are these elusive, shadowy powers? What gives them their power? How do they wield it? These are questions that have puzzled and intrigued many curious minds who have started to see through the veil, through the matrix. Some may argue that these powers are simply the product of privilege and inheritance, oligarchy, right? Nepotism. Born into positions of influence by virtue of their family ties or social standing. Oligarchy and nepotism, yes. Others may contend that these powers have risen to their lofty positions through their sheer cunning and ambition, outmaneuvering their rivals and seizing control through sheer force of will. However it happens, regardless, they, the powers that be, continue to hold sway over our world. They are the architect. They are the architects of our society by teaching us what to believe. They are the architects of our destiny by convincing us their version of past cultures is the truth. And it is up to us to understand their influence and challenge it and debunk it and dismantle it. But to challenge it, we must have numbers behind us in mass. Who they are is this. They are the ones who create the information to be presented to us in any of the textbooks utilized for our education. I didn't write any of those books, did you? Do you know anybody who wrote those books? Where did the information come from? Were you or I to write an education book today, if it were mine, it would not look anything like the propaganda being currently promoted, which I think shows that the intuitive awareness is more valuable than scripted bullet points, right? Just not memorizing facts, but being more aware of being able to determine and ascertain whether or not the fact that you're telling me lines up with what I think. So intuition versus just static points of interest about the past. I did it again. Were I to write an education book today, it would not look like anything Were I to write an education book today, it would not look anything like the propaganda currently being promoted, which I think shows that the intuitive awareness is more valuable than scripted bullet points. Allow a person to participate in how and when and why he or she wants to learn about a thing, and then let her research it and come to her own conclusion. I mean, after all, what harm could it be were she to reject heliocentrism's globe Earth for what could best be described as simply just not a globe? It's just not that. It's just not. Well, then what is it? Let him decide for himself how he wants to be identified. Let him decide, this is what I think the Earth is. What do you think? I'm riffing. So, back to the script. Do this for me. Back to the script. Do this for me later or now. Look up and research Eratosthenes and his experiment, which gave us a near miss on the Earth's circumference. Okay? Just look up a few sources on that storyline. It only took me 5. I had 5 tabs to go through. I went through each tab, and at the end of it, I knew the Earth was not what we were told. I knew it. I knew it. I didn't believe it. I knew it. I'm riffing. So do this for me now or later. Look up Eratosthenes' experiment, which gave us a near miss on the circumference of the Earth. All right, so if you find some tabs open, within those tabs, look for a link to the source of the information that they're giving you. I'd be interested to see what you found out, because if anything, I've never found, if I've ever found one, I rarely find one. I see cut and paste, copy information, and no one has a source. No one has a source. No one has a source. If you can find the source, I would be interested to see how it was interpreted by the powers that be, right? Did Eratosthenes even exist? Did Socrates even exist? Did Plato even exist? Did Jesus Christ even exist? All right. Just love me. Allow a person to participate in how and when and why he or she wants to learn about a thing, and then let that person research that thing and then determine what their knowledge base is going to be. I mean, after all, again, what harm could it be if they draw a different conclusion than consensus? In conclusion, the powers that be are a force to be reckoned with, a shadowy cabal of individuals and groups who hold the keys to power and influence in our world. So the next time you find yourself pondering the state of the world, just consider this. If you were to be in power, would you choose to go to war? No? Then realize war is the machination of oligarchic madmen who cannot control a population except to commit genocide as a control measure. That's how simple this existence is. War is business, commerce. You're not in control of that. If I were in control of that, we wouldn't have war. We wouldn't have it. We wouldn't have commerce. If you were to be in power, would the world look this way? If your answer is no, that should show you then the way the world is not human. It's insane. And we need to wake up. And I'm riffing. If the world would not be run this way if you were in control, first of all, you would say, I wouldn't be in control. Exactamundo. Exactamundo. Except for the fact that we are all in control of the self. We are all self-governing individual human beings in community with other people who are governing themselves. Why? To be in harmony, to be in unity, to be in diversity, right? Coexist. What's your story? Your story is amazing, and I have no judgment. It's your story. Well, I do have judgment. It's beautiful. I might even ask questions or maybe disagree with some of your story. I might ask permission. Do I have permission to disagree? Like, or no. See, I'm even fleshing out my own psychosis right now. And again, I'm freaking off script. And this is just the introduction part, okay? I'm gonna wrap this up. By golly. The next time you find yourself pondering the state of the world, consider this. If you were to be in power, would the world look this way? Would government look this way? Would society look this way? No? Then realize war and the way the world is the machination of the oligarchic, nepotistic madmen, socio-psychopaths who cannot control a population except to commit genocide as a control measure. Wait, isn't that what they told us about Hitler? Once upon a time, in a world not so different from our own, there existed a grand deception that had been perpetrated by the powers that be. This deception was none other than the belief in the developing science which alleged the Earth to be a globe and heliocentrism to be the universal system wherein mankind existed. A cunning ruse that had been woven to deceive the masses further than before. It all began with a group of depraved individuals who further sought to gain more power and control over the minds of the people they had subjugated. Well, that's a bit stereotypical, right? I mean, it's just like, he's just a king and he just came in, or he's just a tyrant, or he's just a gang leader and he just came in and he took over the neighborhood. And then he's a mafiosa. And then he's a don, right? I mean, that's just like cliche. Isn't that just cliche? Well, no. To be clear, these are sociopaths. These are psychopaths. These are maladjusted human beings who have dominated the world under tyranny and monarchy for millennia. Once upon a time, they created a deception of humanity's entire history to direct the next generation's worldview. Have you heard the tagline, Those who do not know history are doomed to repeat it, right? That was something that we were told in our education system. Those who do not know history are doomed to repeat it. Let me ask you a question. Who said that? Is that a quote? Did you write that tagline? I didn't write that tagline. That aphorism, that maxim, that aphorism, that maxim, that tagline is just one such tagline given to us to keep us in line with the currency, with the current present storyline. Sociopsychopaths create lies for one reason and one reason alone. Lies are told to control what the victim will believe about what he is told because, as most people know, what you believe determines how you will behave. Most people understand that what they believe directs their behavior. These monsters, these tyrants, these oligarchs, have lied to humanity about the past. In our education system, most of us experienced in the classroom, opening the book, teacher, Mrs. Wally, my second grade teacher. Okay, class, open your books. Now, in the past, class, primitive people used to make paintings on the wall, tell stories about the sky, and they, how should I say this? These primitive people used to believe you could sail off the edge of the earth. So we were given this narrative that people in the past used to believe that the earth was flat. There's no citation. There's no, show me that. That never happened. But we were given this tag. In the past, primitive people used to think the earth was flat. But now, because of science, right? Allegedly now through science, we know now that we exist in space and universes and galaxies and nebulae and all of this just science fiction. But we know that that's true because science tells us that the earth is an oblate spheroid. And so the lie was told and retold and told and retold and told and retold. And then somewhere along the line, someone introduced a children's book for children to understand, on a child's level of understanding, the emperor's new clothes. Okay? Do you know what that storyline is? That's not a children's story. But they have to dumb it down so we think that it's got nothing for us, nothing for we adults to learn from. And that's a part of the narrative as well. We've been duped. We have been duped. And I'm the kid in the crowd saying, the emperor's got no clothes. You've been lied to. I'm here to tell you the truth. And everybody else is like, I'm not going to stand up because I know that the king will put me in jail. Or whatever. But that's the storyline. We have been given storyline after storyline after storyline so that we just believe these things to be true regardless of whether or not we've ever taken the time to really think about what we think we know. If you're going to finish from this point out, if you've made it this far listening to the sultry sound of my voice, please make sure you smash the Fonzarelli, hit that like, leave me a comment, engage, challenge me, ask me a question, ask me to clarify, ask me to defend, ask me to justify, or present your own story. Like, what do you know? Like, what do you know? Because that's what I'm going to ask you. Like, who told you that? I'm going to ask you, who told you that? And everything that I'm telling you, I told myself. I said yes. So now I'm the source. That's really how the telephone game works. I'm the source of the information that you're going to get. But the reality is that we live in a world of subjectivity and flexibility and ambiguity and organically constructed awareness experience, you know? These monsters have lied to humanity about the past. In past eons, primitive people used to think the Earth was flat, but now we allegedly know through science this is not the case about the shape of the planet. And so the lie was told, and then retold, and then retold, and then along comes a children's book called The Emperor's New Clothes.